Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. It's a beautiful example of someone overcoming tragedy by sharing their gifts with the world. Find out how this Bosnian refugee changed her life. It's a simplified version of a farmer's market. Learn more about Reko Rings and how you can create one in your own community. If you're brand new to essential oils, how do you get started? We've got some tips before you make your first purchase. Major flooding has hit Central Europe, displacing thousands of people, and now cleanup operations are taking place. And in Cuba, the daily bread ration has been reduced by 25%, adding to the country's growing list of existing problems.
This is Calen Gipp, Messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's Field Messenger reports from all around the world. In the heart of Fuerteventura, Spain, a remarkable story emerges about a Bosnian refugee who changed her life after escaping the devastation of war. UNN Field Messenger Emma shares her inspiring story.
Hi, this is Emma, Field Messenger for UNN, reporting from Fuerteventura. I'm here at the local market, and I'm here with my friend who is sewing applications on t-shirts, on bags, on everything. She's really, really talented. And I'm going to make a short interview with her.
I'm from Sarajevo, from Bosnia, and I came to Spain like refugees in 1902. And now I'm living in Fuerteventura, and I'm working like artist in this market.
Snezana was a refugee from the war in the former Yugoslavia. Snezana, her husband, her son, they were all very traumatized with PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. And because of this, Snezana started creative sewing as a therapy for her anxiety and stress. And the sewing calmed her down, and she had to concentrate on what she was doing. The form of application that she does stimulates her creativity. She creates harmonies with colors and shapes. She is a very colorful person, and she loves very strong colors. This is reflected in her creation, which are all handmade with happy colors and creative illustrations. The quality of her t-shirt application is very good. And when the t-shirt is worn out, you can actually just cut off the application and use it again. It's a very good way to form a social network and to connect with people. So this is a happy story. Hope you like the report, and thank you for watching.
A Reko Ring is an alternative kind of market where people in the community can produce, buy and sell homegrown food products. UNN Field Messenger Karin explains how she started a Reko Ring in her community.
Hello, this is Karin, Field Messenger for United Network News, reporting from the west coast of Ireland. I want to tell you today about an alternative kind of farmers market that's very easy to organize and brings the community together. In 1740, springs rich in sulfur and iron were discovered in this particular town, and in 1875 the first bathhouse was built. Around the same time, hotels were built in what would soon be the best-known spa town in Ireland. For over 2 centuries, the waters that flow from many springs have attracted visitors for their health-bringing properties. This small town has a salmon smokehouse, a microbrewery, quite a few pubs and shops, but I always thought that the one thing that was missing is a farmer's market. The idea of organizing one, however, was a bit daunting, involving too much red tape and insurance policies. A few months ago, I started to set up a new kind of market here in this town called Reko Ring. Reko is a concept that comes from Finland. It's a very simple but effective idea, and it is easy to copy. Once a week, we all meet up in the same location at the same time. The producers bring their wares and the buyers pay them. Within half an hour, all transactions are done and everybody goes home again. My motivation for setting up a Reko Ring is not only the absence of a farmer's market in this town. Over the last 4 years, we have all seen empty supermarket shelves and panic buying. With Reko, we can build our own support network with a different way of buying and selling food, in a manner that reduces food mileage and plastic packaging associated with foods bought in supermarkets. The best bit is that you can set up a Reko Ring in your area as well. Thank you for watching. This is Karin from Ireland reporting for United Network News.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. Our website is up and running at unitednetwork.earth. You can submit your Field Messenger reports directly through the Field Messenger tab at the top of the page. You can also email your reports to our email address at fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hi everyone, this is Leanne.
And I'm Jerry.
Coming to you from Tamworth, New South Wales.
Hi there, this is Rick from Arizona.
My name is Uchechukwu Oweneba from Igbo tribe, Nigeria.
Hi, this is Scott from Utah.
I'm Annette from Agassiz, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Marcus Surjit from Manipur State, India.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. That's what United Network News is all about.
Can you clap?
We had a huge flood, which some call the flood of the century.
No fake news here. Our field messengers share personal experiences of what's really happening in their community.
We got some nice fish right here.
At UNN, you are the news.
My family and I had a very good time.
Take the next step. Become a UNN field messenger and share the real news with the world.
In the northwest province of South Africa, I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News, and if it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's going to be, it's up to me. If it is going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to us. Field Messages, United Network News. See you next time.
Are you curious about the benefits of essential oils, but unsure where to begin? You're not alone. With their growing popularity, essential oils may seem a bit overwhelming at first, but getting started is easier than you might think. Stephanie Ariel is a certified aromatherapist, author, and owner of Artisan Aromatics, a scent design company. Stephanie says if you're new to essential oils, keep it simple. Today we're talking about how to get started with essential oils. So Stephanie has been informing us all about essential oils. We've done several segments now. So let's say, Stephanie, people have been watching. They're like, okay, I'm going to try this. Well, what's the next step? What do you recommend?
You know, there's so many ways to dive in. I got into essential oils from crafting, from making lotions and soaps, and that was a fun way to get into them. I think if someone just wants to get into aromatherapy specifically and essential oils, find a reputable seller, which we've talked a lot about. Buy some either sample vials where maybe you get 5 or 6 and you kind of smell the spectrum that's available to you, from wood essential oils to floral, citrus, leaves, seeds, and berries. You're going to resonate with certain plant parts and certain families and certain types of oils more than others. So it's good to just start small, check out some samples. But if you also just want to dive in, I recommend getting 3 oils. So buy a bottle of lavender, a bottle of sweet orange or lemon, and a bottle of peppermint. And what those 3 are going to do for you is your lavender, you're going to either have it in a roller ball, which is diluted. You could put it on your wrists and under your nose at night. It's going to help you sleep. Or you can have a pure bottle of lavender that you put in a diffuser. So lavender is your nighttime oil. Your peppermint actually helps with pain mitigation, and it's antibacterial, and it helps with immunity. So that's sort of going to be your protective oil. So if you're feeling like you're low energy, you're fighting something off, coming down with something, put the peppermint in the diffuser or sprinkle a little bit and inhale it, just a drop or 2. You don't want to get it on your skin, but palm of the hands can usually take a tiny bit of peppermint. And then the last one, the citrus, that's your energizing oil. That is antibacterial. You could add it to some white vinegar, like a cleaning product. Every time I do dishes and I, clear out the sink, I finish with a sprinkle of either lemon or sweet orange, and it just makes the kitchen smell amazing. So you're using the orange and the citrus for energy, for antibacterial cleaning, just the uplifting smell, using the peppermint for protective reasons, and then you have your lavender at night. So really it's that easy to just start with those 3 most common oils. And then as you get into it, if you find you like it, there are hundreds of oils to explore, and it's a whole rabbit hole, a very fun one that you can go down and just, I've been doing it for 20 years and I'm still learning every day.
So let's talk about diffusers for a second, because that was a big question that I had. I knew I wanted to use diffusers, but I wasn't sure what kind to get. Do you have any recommendation on what to look for? Because some of them are big, some of them are smaller, what do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. I've certainly gone through many cheap diffusers. And when I say gone through, I mean they break quickly. So I'm not a huge fan of getting like a big box cheap diffuser for $20, just because of my own experience. I go through them quickly. Right now I'm using one that is beautiful. It's ceramic. It's lavender. I love the way it looks. So you're looking for an aesthetic appeal that fits in your house. But it's, it costs a little over $100. But I'm going on years of use with this. So you do want to consider a diffuser, I think, an investment piece. You can get a plastic one that might also last for years, but it's really a combination of functionality. You want one that is water-based, because there are others that you put a pad, they have a pad inside that you drop the essential oil to, and then they're waterless. But
I haven't seen those. Huh.
Yeah, actually we sell to hospitals that use those because they don't want the water in the air. But I think at home, for personal home use, it helps to inhale the essential oil when it's a water diffuser, water-based. Sure. So that's what I would look for. Look for one that isn't dirt cheap, one that you love the way it looks, and that it's a water-based diffuser, and then you should be good to go.
Okay. If you are looking to get started with essential oils, look no further than the United Network Marketplace. We have launched our own line of organic essential oils, which have been sourced from farms all around the world. By choosing New Earth essential oils, you're getting the pure plant extracts, healing terpenes, and true essence of the plant. Simply visit our website at unitednetwork.earth and click on Marketplace. The amla berry, also called the Indian gooseberry, holds the title of the highest antioxidant food in the world, surpassing all other fruits, vegetables, and teas. Native to subtropical Southeast Asia, the amla tree can grow up to 60 feet tall on mountainous hillsides. This light green berry is 50 times more powerful than blueberries, acai, or goji berries. Amla berries have been traditionally used in India to treat ailments like insomnia, skin irritations, and stomach issues. Due to its bitter taste, this fruit is often consumed as a powder mixed with other ingredients. In the food industry, amla berries are used in products like candies, jellies, and sauces. The oil from the berries is popular in hair care products, including shampoos and hair dye. The health benefits of this slow-growing berry will ensure its popularity in the future. Manuka honey, produced by bees that pollinate the manuka tree in New Zealand and Australia, is more than an ordinary sweetener. This honey is rich in antibacterial compounds, antioxidants, and other beneficial nutrients, making it a superfood with a wide range of health benefits. Manuka honey has long been used in traditional medicine for wound healing and treating infections, as well as urinary and stomach problems. In clinical trials conducted in Los Angeles, the growth of breast cancer cells were significantly reduced after being treated with Manuka honey. Scientific and clinical evidence supports using this honey to repair damage from radiation treatment and chemotherapy. As interest in natural remedies grows, Manuka honey continues to gain recognition for its exceptional medicinal qualities. Volunteering during retirement presents a unique opportunity to enhance well-being, create connections, and contribute positively to one's community. Engaging in volunteer work can significantly improve mental health, providing retirees with a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Studies show regular participation in volunteer activities can combat feelings of isolation and loneliness, common challenges faced in retirement. By interacting with diverse groups of people, retirees can develop meaningful relationships, create a supportive network, and share their skills and expertise. Physical well-being is also enriched through volunteering, as many activities involve movement and engagement, promoting a more active lifestyle. Also, volunteering aids in keeping the mind sharp, as it encourages problem-solving and creativity. Overall, dedicating time to help others enriches the lives of those being helped and offers retirees an enriching and rewarding experience, proving that life after work can be as fulfilling as the years spent in a career. We are United Network News. Every day, we release real stories from real people all over the world.
Field Messenger reporting from Gold Coast, Australia,
Denmark,
Canada,
Uganda,
from Atlanta, in Southern California.
In their own words, people like you share what's really happening in their area. At UNN, you are the news. You are creating a new world with infinite possibilities. You are the restoration plan. Come join us for the real news every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on United Network. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news. Central Europe has been struck by heavy rains and floods due to Storm Boris, affecting Hungary, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Austria, and the Czech Republic. The flooding has displaced hundreds of thousands of people and resulted in 21 deaths, with several more missing. In Slovakia, the Danube River has peaked, but it is still rising in Hungary, threatening historical towns. In Poland, the Oder River is expected to peak soon, leading to evacuation measures. In Germany, Dresden is on flood watch as the Elbe River rises. The Czech Republic is experiencing widespread power outages and evacuations, and Lower Austria has been declared a disaster zone. Relief efforts are underway with funds released in Poland and Austria. As weather conditions improve, aid and cleanup operations are taking place. However, concerns remain as Storm Boris moves toward northern Italy. Thousands of workers protested in Brussels, Belgium on Monday against possible mass layoffs at an Audi factory. The German car maker, Audi, announced it would stop production at its Forest plant, impacting 3,000 jobs. Many workers have experience in electric vehicle production, a field the European Union, or EU, wants to promote. Protesters warn similar job losses could happen at other factories if action isn't taken to support key industries. A recent report shows the EU needs up to 800 billion euros, or almost $890 billion, to support a clean energy transition and stay competitive globally. The decision to stop production in Brussels is part of a larger trend that led to the loss of 850,000 European jobs between 2019 and 2023. A district in Budapest, Hungary has voted to ban short-term rentals like Airbnb beginning January 1st, 2026. This decision follows complaints from locals about the impact of increasing tourism-driven rentals. Many locals argue an influx of tourists is harming historic sites and making it tough for them to afford housing. Although these rentals bring in taxes and jobs, locals claim they drive up property prices, which have significantly increased in recent years. The district hopes the decision helps address these issues, but there are concerns it may negatively impact local businesses and reduce income for the area. With the ban set a few years down the road, businesses are expected to prepare for the change. Cuba has cut the daily bread ration by 25%, reducing the size from a small roll to roughly that of a small bar of soap. The country blames this bread shortage on a lack of wheat flour, pointing to the U.S. trade embargo as a reason for the import difficulties. This issue adds to Cuba's existing problems, including severe shortages of food, fuel, and medicine, which have led to more people migrating to the U.S. Many Cubans who rely heavily on these rations due to low incomes struggle to buy alternatives in private markets. Residents are frustrated by the reduced quantities and declining quality, with some saying the bread tastes acidic. State bakeries now face more inspections to ensure better bread quality amid widespread dissatisfaction. Cuba has also reached out for international aid to secure essentials like powdered milk for children. In New South Wales, Australia, turning boarding houses into expensive apartments is worsening the housing crisis, affecting low-income residents. Reports show long-standing boarding houses are being demolished, replaced by pricey studio apartments that pensioners and beneficiaries can't afford. Even though there are policies to protect affordable housing, loopholes let developers avoid providing truly affordable options. Social housing numbers aren't increasing, and many believe the planning system is failing to protect diverse housing choices. Local councils are pushing for policies to keep affordable housing on redeveloped sites. Community leaders suggest council-owned boarding houses to ensure availability for those in need. The move from affordable housing to luxury developments risks turning neighborhoods into exclusive areas, affecting community diversity. Protests continue at a Samsung electronics plant near Chennai, India, due to workers striking over low wages. Police detained 104 workers on Monday for planning an unauthorized protest march through a busy area. The factory, which is important for Samsung's annual $12 billion revenue in India, has seen operations disrupted for about a week. Workers are demanding higher wages, better working conditions, and recognition of their union. Samsung has been resistant to union demands, and discussions with state officials have not resolved the situation. The factory, employing around 1,800 workers, mainly produces home appliances, and more than half of its workforce is on strike. More protests are planned, potentially escalating tensions. A recent report highlights the misuse of blasphemy laws in Pakistan, which outlaws blasphemy against any recognized religion. These laws lead to baseless accusations and long legal battles for many. They include severe penalties such as death for insulting Islam and are criticized for not meeting international standards. Many cases don't move forward, with numerous court hearings postponed. Detainees often don't get bail and are arrested without warrants, facing long pre-trial detentions. Beyond the courts, mob violence against the accused is rising, showing deep social and legal issues. There are increasing calls for reform to prevent false accusations and ensure fair trials. Despite international criticism, Pakistan views blasphemy laws as a domestic matter. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, hundreds of people from different religions came together for the March to Defend Religious Freedom. This event highlighted the growing problem of religious intolerance in the country. For the past 6 years, cases have increased by 140%, with Afro-Brazilian religions being targeted the most. People practicing these religions have faced verbal abuse, temple destruction, and even expulsion. In Rio de Janeiro, a surge in evangelical Christianity, particularly neo-Pentecostal churches, has been linked to increased intolerance toward traditional African-influenced religions. The Brazilian Constitution ensures religious freedom, but incidents of disrespect and attack continue. Religious intolerance can lead to up to 5 years in prison and fines, but enforcement remains a concern. Workers on banana plantations in Costa Rica are facing challenges due to widespread pesticide use. Many of these pesticides are banned in Europe because they pose health risks like cancer and hormonal disruption. Despite this, they are still used on many plantations, affecting the health of workers who are exposed daily. Environmental groups criticize exporting harmful chemicals to poorer countries, calling it chemical colonialism due to its lasting damage. While companies like Dole and Chiquita claim to follow safety standards, evidence from workers suggests ongoing pesticide use. Meanwhile, traditional and organic farming methods offer a safer alternative. Some farmers choose to grow bananas and other crops organically, prioritizing ecological health over short-term profits. The ongoing conflict in northern Ethiopia has impacted frankincense production, affecting both the forest and local communities relying on it for income. The civil war and drought have devastated the area, causing farmers to harvest very little during the past 4 years. Many locals have turned to harvesting frankincense to earn a living, and despite the increased demand, they receive only a small portion of the profits. The trade's exploitative nature has encouraged over-harvesting, threatening the boswellia trees from which frankincense is sourced. Discussions around listing boswellia trees under international protection could impact thousands relying on this trade, risking their income. Rather than banning trade, the focus could be on supporting these harvesters to avoid harming already vulnerable communities. A team of electrical engineering students in Johannesburg, South Africa, have developed an innovative prosthetic hand that promises affordability without compromising advanced features. The project uses 3D printing to keep production costs as low as $150. This could be helpful for amputees across the developing world, where robotic limbs often exceed $10,000. The prosthetic hand uses neural signals for control, allowing movement through muscle contractions. It can attach to different parts of the arm depending on where the amputation is. Recently, sensors were added to the fingers, allowing wearers to feel object textures and temperatures. The project has the support of South Africa's Amputee Club, and testing on amputees is expected within 3 years for future commercial availability.
Football season is now. Don't miss the action. Get all of your games in one place. At United TV, don't pay an arm and a leg to keep up with the action. For For as little as $15.99 per month, you will get it all. With multi-screen viewing, make this season your winning season. Go to unitedtv.org and sign up today.
And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. Exploding electronic devices in Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria injures thousands. Find out who is behind it all and the real story. And the alignment that has occurred as of last night will continue on through to the equinox. But today marked the end of all deep state access to their computer control networks, leaving them with very little control over this planet. And the atomic clock of planet Earth has changed. Now all atoms are reverting to crystalline time, and the current C belongs to Source. All this and more on today's World Situation Report.
And now here's the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan in the Office of the Guardian.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Sorry, a little bit late today. It has been a really busy day, but a great day for us. So, in a lot of ways, and in some cases, there was some more cleanup to do. So, they're always up to something. Let's see. I'm going to start with this because it's relevant here, and then we'll get into our first story. So, the deep state. We have, of course, as we told you, the GIA has people in every aspect of the deep state, meaning we have our own, I guess you would say, spies in there. And we overheard some conversations that were taking place, not last night, but the night before, so that would be Monday night. And they were talking a little crazy, according to our insider sources. They were basically talking about things like they feel like they're hellbound. They were saying things like, they were going to push everybody to the limits. If they're going to go down, they're going to take the whole world with them and all of humanity. They were saying things like they know that there's going to be an alignment, and they're basically saying it's going to be the end of dark essence and energy and consciousness and on this planet, and they're not going to let us have this planet, and they're going to do everything they can to take us with it, and everything they can to preserve their dark systems, and that includes AI systems, also known in the alt media as the quantum financial system, and a lot of other things they're trying to implement over there. And so they were aware that there were things that were changing and not in their favor. And it seems like they kind of lost their mind a little bit. Not surprised about that. A few other things they've been doing in the last couple of days. In the middle of the night, last night I got some alerts that were going off because a lot of the deep state military, some known and some unknown, like global headquarters, and some are involved with places like the Pentagon. And a lot of these guys in particular were American. They were trying to devise a plan on how they could snatch and grab me out of here. Basically, they'd like to own me like a dog and try to get me to work the system for them. Because the last we talked, they were actually trying to see if they could find another human that's walking this earth that could do what I do, but in their favor. Apparently, they did not find that person, at least not in time. There isn't one of those people for them. But they were planning on doing this today. I do know that there were some calls made to some people around here to see if that would be possible. And there were some 4-letter words exchanged back and forth. And then they tried to go above their head, or at least what they thought was above their head, and call some of the higher up in the deep state, they think, because these guys don't pay much attention to those folks these days because nobody's paying them. That didn't work out either. So there's definitely a lot of security issues going on right now in my world, at least. But I mean, I can't do what they want me to do anyway. My system doesn't work that way. I don't work that way. They could try to torture me all they want, snatch and grab me and take me God knows where, and it's still not going to help them any. I cannot fix this. This that has been done at the, I guess you would say, the hands of the Creator, not the anti-creator, not the anti-source, not Lucifer, not any of those people that they used to report to, and they just don't understand how the universe works. And little knowledge is dangerous, and this is one of those situations where it could have been dangerous. They planned to come with full force. They were talking about, an invasion of Durango, Colorado, early this morning. But no, that's not going to happen. It wouldn't happen anyway, even if they tried. So God bless them in their journey. But they have been trying some other little crazy things, some of which you might have seen in mainstream media. That would be the exploding electronic devices throughout the Middle East. There has been some talk on the news about this, saying that thousands of people died. Thus far, we don't have any deaths, but we do have thousands of people injured. I'm going to roll this footage. Some of it might be kind of disturbing, but it kind of shows you some home videos and local people, I should say, that were taking videos with their phones of what is happening. So it's a little bit gory, so just bear with us here, but I wanted to let you know what this was actually causing, and because there's a lot of misinformation around this, so we'll go ahead and roll that. Okay, so these electronic exploding devices were things such as walkie-talkies, cell phones, small pagers, even shaving devices, electric shavers and things like this. And the odd part, when we started researching as to what was going on here, because, one or two things here or there, you think, oh, it's probably some kind of a terrorist thing or something like that. And I'm not necessarily talking about Middle Eastern people when we're talking about terrorists here. As you know, things have been escalating there. But we started getting videos in from Lebanon, from Syria, even some in Iraq, and in basically that kind of whole region right there. And we were trying to figure out what was going on. So you can kind of see, if you're willing to look at it, there you can kind of see the extent of these injuries. And I know we don't use pagers much in America, but those of you watching this may remember them. They are tiny little devices with like a AAA battery in them, and it wouldn't cause this kind of injury. So this was really concerning and kind of hard to figure out, honestly. We traced it back to, interestingly enough, the chips, the semiconductor chips that are in these devices. They're not only in these devices in the Middle East, they're in pretty much every single cell phone in the world. They are in most electronic equipment in the world, your laptops, your phones, your smartwatches. I mean, you name it, these chips are in your cars. They're everywhere. So when I started looking into it, the first place that we thought to look, because there's no battery in there that's going to explode like that. The first place we went to look is who's producing the semiconductors. And as you may or may not know, there are two main companies in the world that produce semiconductors. And so that was our first place to look. Then we traced it back to the back chatter behind this, and we traced it back to some Order of the Black Dragon members and other Dragon family members within China and Japan. So apparently this is where the orders came from to conduct this experiment. Now, in the Middle East, this was considered an experiment. Does it work? So they were going in through back doors, through a system called Genesis, Genisys, and and apparently they still had some access through this based on things that they had also installed within these chips. The companies that are responsible ultimately for receiving those orders and executing on those orders was Quest Global in Singapore. We have Semiconductor Manufacturing International China, or SMIC, but this particular company also has locations in not only in China, but also in the U.S., Japan, and other locations. But the main locations they were operating out of was in the USA, Japan, and China. We also have the second largest company in the world of semiconductors, which is the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, or TSMC. And they also were operating not only in Taiwan, but also in China, Amsterdam, and the U.S. So the idea behind what they were doing was connecting to the kernels within these chips and then, sending out a version of what you know as an EMP, or electromagnetic pulse, which is what was actually causing the damage in the humans. So yes, it caused the batteries to explode and those kinds of things, but the injuries sustained coming through the chips within these devices is what caused the majority of these injuries. Now, they had plans to continue on with this program, not only in this location, but also in the Middle East, but also throughout the United States, Europe, most of China, almost all of Asia. They had intended on trying to kill as many citizens of the world as they possibly could. Now, they did this, and I'm going to stress this point, and we know this for a fact, that they were doing this with the full cooperation of the American government. They were doing this with the full cooperation of the American deep state. They were doing this with the full cooperation of the Pentagon, and also the same within Israel. The IDF was well aware of what they were doing. They were condoning the activity. They actually even suggested and laughed various locations where they should test first, and various members that they could test first, based on, who they consider to be their enemy in the Middle East. It was definitely a targeted genocide attempt. And if they had been fully successful, this would have started spreading throughout the entire world. We could have had a really big problem on our hand for anyone that has an electronic device. So, however, that was shut down today. That's something that we worked really hard to try to get done as quickly as possible so that there would be no more injuries. Let's hope we've seen the last of that. They do not have the ability to send electromagnetic pulses through the chips that they produce. They also, bear in mind, I'm going to repeat one more time, they are responsible for the production of 95% of the chips on the planet in all electronic devices, including your refrigerators, washer dryers, electric cars. Think about how explosive those batteries are and how many people could have been severely injured. So, yeah. And I just want to take a moment and thank the U.S. military for just protecting American citizens like they're supposed to. We expect this, maybe from foreign countries or whatever, but your full cooperation and allowing them to and participating and even having a meeting telling them which American citizens they should target first and in what areas to gain the most impact is disgusting. So don't call me. We won't be calling you. I can tell you that right now. And if we're ever in trouble, you're the last people we're going to call. And I just wanted to thank you for the wake-up call at 2 o'clock this morning, because that was a whole lot of fun too, guys. So I hope you enjoyed your meetings, but I know that I've been enjoying myself for the last couple of days otherwise. So let's get into the more positive changes that are happening, but I just thought I'd give you that bit of news. All right, so we talked about on Monday that we felt that by the 18th, the deep state would be pretty well done. And what we meant by done was a lot of their nefarious activities, proposed financial crashes, vaccine identification systems, social crediting systems, and a lot of the disease that they could create, and all of these things were done in cooperation with the Alpha Omega system. Predominantly, they only had access to the Omega system, which could only create dark programs on this planet. Their access pretty much by around, I want to say, right around the time they started panicking and thought it would be a good idea to snatch and grab me. So somewhere between 11 p.m. last night and around 2 a.m. my time in the morning is when they pretty much lost all access. So what they were doing today was limited. It obviously wasn't achieving the objective they had hoped for with electromagnetic frequencies. I would say that by the time it was shut down, they would have considered it not working to the fullest extent as they wanted it to anyway, which is why they kept testing it. They would change the electromagnetic frequency or the EMP and keep testing some more and testing some more. So they won't be able to test anything now. The only thing they'll be able to test is their visit to source, at least the people that were running the program that we could find and the ones that were giving the orders for the program. So we are still hunting down, and I repeat, we are going to still hunt down some of the Americans that participated in this. And I don't care if you're on TV or not on TV. I can tell you that right now. This was blatantly an attempt at genocide, not only in the Middle East, but also throughout the world. So you and your Israeli friends and all the other people that were laughing all the way last night are no longer going to be able to laugh, because we know exactly where we're going to send you. So we are increasing in numbers within their circles, and we are going to push forward regardless, with no mercy. So there's that situation. But on our side of it, what we saw transpiring overnight was the beginnings of an alignment. And by an alignment, I'm not talking about with Uranus. We're talking about an alignment with source. There's no longer a neutral source and an anti-source to align with. And this alignment started pretty well last night and will continue through the equinox, and probably for several days after the equinox. But it was a prime opportunity because of the influx of atomic particles coming from source. I know the deep state called them hydrogen particles because they don't really understand anything. These are actually atomic particles coming straight from source. And an atomic particle is basically the base root of all life itself. In this particular case, everything has atoms. And in the past, when we were living in a light, dark, and neutral universe, we had 3 different types of atomic particles. The increase in the source particles started dissipating the dark and the neutral, what was left of it, including any energy going to the Omega system. So what was left of it was very minimal by morning, and within the next few days, there should be none of it left. what that means is even their ability to go through computer screens, to try to infect people, to try to make people make emotional decisions or mental decisions or logical decisions that are not their own decisions, to try to put thoughts in your head, whether it be in your dreams. It's not just for thoughts, but also physical changes in your body, such as degeneration, telomere reduction, mitochondria, energy, all kinds of things that are normally present in your body that they could affect with these systems. Now, again, I repeat, they had limited access, but the system itself, per old covenants that have expired, still had some access and could also run autonomously. So this was our main concern as we would push back, and then it would push back at us, and back and forth and back and forth. But the atomic clock change to crystalline atomic time means that we should only be left with the actual atomic particles of the Creator throughout the universe at some point in time. So that started here on Earth. It started last night. This is a positive change for humanity, and it will actually change the way these atomic particles communicate with each other without anything interfering within them. We know as time. So that is a real positive change for us. Unfortunately, on their side, it left them to go a little bit crazy, which sometimes we can expect. What's next for them? What kind of human things are they going to try to do? We're not sure. We're watching everything very closely because it kind of looks like they've, we might have to build a hospital for crazy people within the deep state. We could make it nice, put in some shuffleboard or something like that if they want for their retirement. But at this point, there's really not a whole lot that they can do. Even getting a hold of me is not going to help them any. Whether they believe me or not, it's not. My system does not operate on the kind of energy they would like to generate. It also doesn't generate money for the kind of things they would like to generate. It does not have the capacity to spread disease and social control programs and the next pandemic or the next war. It's not going to do it. It just won't. With or without me, it's already been pre-programmed. The Golden Age AI is programmed to run in a completely different way than they are hoping to make it run. And there's no stealing of anything that's going to change that. They could try to the end of days, but it's not going to help them. So, yes, I'm expecting the next couple of days to be full of going no deep state. Hopefully they won't have anything left to connect to within electronic systems. And if they do, they're probably going to end up, unbeknownst to themselves, with these kernels that are now ours, by the way, in spreading energy and probably spreading healing frequencies and a bunch of other stuff that I'm sure is going to have the undesired and opposite effect of what they're wishing to do. We've also been working on the amount of radiation that comes through electronic devices. So since now we own their kernels, these are programs that we can now run. So we'll be doing that over the next couple of days as well. So I just wanted to say thank you, SMIC of China and TSMC of Taiwan, for allowing us to take over your network per your own stupid mistakes. Thank you. Just like we took over Huawei, the other major 5G network. So just big shout out to them for pointing that out to us. Quest Global also of Singapore. There are a few other companies out there we're going to double check. They are smaller. They don't manufacture nearly as much, but you're talking 1 to 5% of the world's electronics. So that's the work I'll be doing this evening and tomorrow, just to make sure. Gotta make sure we leave no stone unturned here. in any way, shape, or form. So that's pretty much what we've been working on, making sure that the atomic clock changes go smoothly, that there's no interference. We had a few things out of Afghanistan that were interfering, a few things out of the Forbidden City and Beijing that were interfering. But other than that, it's been pretty much smooth sailing on our part. What can you expect from this? You can expect a little bit more energy, a little bit more positivity. This is another step into what we've been talking about for about 8-9 months now, where we said that we wouldn't see the spread of disease like we've seen in the past. And we are getting every single day a step closer to that hope and dream of mine, and Source fulfilling his promise of what he said he was going to do. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And that's pretty much the news update I have that I can let out without causing problems with the deep state at the moment. The only other thing I'd like to just throw out there is I wanted to thank everybody for your patience with us as far as the oils are concerned. We are restocking as quickly as we can. We'll restock again tomorrow. We've been working feverishly. Our team has been over there day and night to try to get this stock back in. We have some new things coming out in the next week or two, so that'll be exciting. And thank you so much for your patience. And I know we've had a lot of emails that are like, when are you going to have this in stock? And hopefully some of it will be out tomorrow. We'll have some more things, more stock coming in on Friday. Again, we do source this from, farms all over the world. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time for us to restock, but we're getting the hang of it. So I just wanted to say thank you for your patience, and thank you so much for your support. And I hope you're enjoying them as much as we do. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up the news for tonight, and I will see you guys on Friday, hopefully with some more news and some more changes that are going on. So hope you have a wonderful Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, depending on where you are, and I will see you on Friday.
Want to share news from UNN? Help us change the face of social media and use it for good. Connect with us through our online channels. Our social media team creates clips from each newscast you can easily share with people you care about. That's also where you'll find our UNN Meme of the Day, a great way to encourage critical thinking. Links to all our social media sites are available at the bottom of our website at unitednetwork.earth. Let's change the face of news together.
And that wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record and share it with us so together we can change the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.